Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome here if you are new. Today we're going to be creating a spring cross wreath, and we're going to be using Deco mesh and a petal method. So this is 10-inch Deco mesh from Hobby Lobby, and it is the plastic Deco mesh that you can pick up there. It's a little bit more on the pricey side, however, I think it's definitely worth it. I like working with this mesh a lot. So we're going to be cutting our squares into 10-inch squares, and as you can see, mine are still a tiny bit crooked. You want to make sure that you can get those squares as close to 10 by 10 as you possibly can. What I've learned a little bit from doing this technique is you need to make sure that your Deco mesh lines up on both edges of your mat. So you want to make sure it's 10 inches, in lengthwise on the left hand side in my photo here, and then you want to cut at the 10 inches because we're trying to get them to be a 10-inch square. So we're going to be folding these and then cinching them in the middle and twirling them up. And I wanted to show you guys, I am doing a low fray method here, but I wanted to show you what happens if you do it the opposite way. So in this case, we put the finished edges together and cinched them up, and when you do that and pull them into the side to make your petal, it has the part that you cut, or the unfinished edge, showing, and that's going to cause you to have a lot of fraying in your wreath. So what we want to do is we want to take the unfinished edges and put them together, and then we're going to cinch that up in the middle, and then when we twirl it up here to the side, we get the finished edges as the part that goes onto our wreath. This will help you with a lot less fraying on your wreath. I made 2 petals that were fraying, and then the rest of them that were not fraying, and I forgot to go back and fix them. So when I put them in my wreath, it was kind of noticeable because of how much fraying there was. So definitely this is a much better way to make sure that you have less fraying in your wreath. So again, you're going to put your unfinished edges together, cinch it up in the middle, twist it so that they are next to each other, and then I'm using my rubber bands again, and I'm just going to secure them down at the bottom, and that gives me the petal. This is super simple and a little bit forgiving, especially if your squares are not exactly the 10 by 10. If they're a little bit off, you'll never notice in this petal method. So once you have all your petals made, now we're ready to secure them to the wreath. So all my petals together, it took me 1 package and 4 more pieces. So you're going to have to pick up 2 packages of Deco mesh unless you space them out a little bit farther, because like I said, it was just 4 pieces in the second package of the Deco mesh. So I'm going to put my petal here onto the wire frame, and I'm using a zip tie. These came from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to zip tie it to the metal piece. So what I did was thread my pipe cleaner. I threaded my zip tie in underneath the middle section of the frame, and then I pulled that up and put it on top of the Deco mesh, and then I secured it. And as you can see, I have a helper today. He's very curious about the Deco mesh, so he likes to sit by me while I craft. But you're going to put it in between that metal piece that is in the very middle, and then cinch it up, and you're going to clip it off, and then you have these really nice petals that have very little fraying because our finished edges are the ones that are poking out. And so you're just going to continue to do this on the top part of our cross. So I go ahead and add about 6 petals here to the top, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on both sides of our cross. So each of those smaller cross sections is going to have 6 petals attached to it. Today's video is a collab with my dear friend Nadia from DIY with Nadia. She does a Wreath Wednesday every Wednesday, and was gracious enough to collab with me today on this Wreath Wednesday. So if you've never been to her channel, she has some amazing wreaths that she does, and a lot of them are Dollar Tree, and so you will not be disappointed by checking out her channel and seeing all the wonderful creations that she comes up with. Definitely go by and check out her channel, and if you love wreaths, her channel is definitely one to subscribe to. There's a link down in my description box to her channel and the video that she has created for today's Wreath Wednesday. So now that we've filled in the top of our cross and each one of those sections had 6 pieces, now we're ready to do the rest of our cross. And we're going to do the same method. We're going to lay our petal onto our wreath, and then we're going to take our zip tie and go through the middle section of the wreath form. And then once we have that into the wreath form, then we're going to secure our zip tie prior to putting our petal in, but not all the way down. Then we're just going to move our petal into that zip tie and then secure it and cut it off. Once we have all of our deco mesh on, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I did leave the middle section open for a bow. So what we're going to do for this bow, if you've been watching me for a little while, you know I love to make these bows, but if you're new here, we're going to make several sections of this bow before we put it all together. So I measured this section out to be about 12 inches, and I'm going to have 4 loops and 2 tails from this ribbon for this 12-inch section. We are going to be making 4 sections here, and it actually ends up being 5 sections because I go back and add a section later. But we're going to do a section at 12 inches, 11 inches, 10 inches, 9 inches, and then I go back and make another 12-inch section with this sheer pink ribbon. So I just alternated them. The 12-inch ribbon was the flowers, the 11-inch ribbon was the sheer pink ribbon, 10 inches was the flowers again, 9 inches was the sheer pink ribbon, and then I went back and made a 12-inch sheer pink ribbon to add to the back of this bow, just so it seemed to even itself out a little bit. Once I have all the sections put together, I take another zip tie and I zip tie all the sections together. It does make for a little bit of a bulky bow down at the bottom of all the sections. However, once you get it attached to your project, you will never see the bulkiness that is there. So just make sure that you're using good zip ties and that you have it secured all together there. So once I have all the pieces secured with my zip tie, I just go ahead and fluff it out, and then I dovetail the ends. Now I'm ready to place it into my wreath, and I'm just going to use another zip tie to place it onto my wreath form. And because I left that middle section open, I'm just going to put my zip tie through the middle section and secure it in the back. And then once I have it secured in the back, I'm going to go ahead and fluff out the ribbon to make a beautiful bow. And then that is it for this project. That is it for today's project. I hope that you loved it and that you found some inspiration from it. And let me know down in the comments if you're going to try the petal method. I absolutely love how it turned out with the no fraying. If you'd love some more wreath inspiration, check out my videos up here. And don't forget to go check out Nadia at DIY with Nadia and her video today for Wreath Wednesday. If you're coming from my channel, definitely make sure you let her know that I sent you. As always, wherever you are in your journey is a perfect place to start. And I will see you in my next video.